Hello there, how are you doing? And welcome to part number 5 of Club 6, which is the final club of my MyCareer save here on Football Manager 2024. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we're going to be playing 2 Serie A games. I was thinking about the Europa League, but we've not been drawn against the strongest competition. It would be a bit of a boring game to show you. There'd be lots of goals. We'd have a lovely time, but let's go with a couple of games that have a bit more challenge in Serie A. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So, how are things going? It's still going very well. We are not invincible. We have lost 2 games, actually, which are a bit of a shock. Game number 1, Roma. Last time you saw us with the Super Cup final, lost the next game. It is what it is. It couldn't last forever. That was the first points we dropped. We were 100% up until that point. We made it until January before we had any dropped points in any competition. Super proud of that. We then, not that long after, lost against Juventus 3-2. But in between, we won every game, and there's a lot of clean sheets in there as well. And we've had an unbeaten February as well, so we have bounced back after both of those. Both of them, you know, the Serie A game against Roma, that was a difficult one. It was a slim 1-0 loss. Elia Wahi coming back to haunt me from my Bayern Munich days. And Roma was the first one. Juventus, that's the wrong Juventus game too. Where am I looking? There I am. The Juventus game, this one, it's tough to take. It's 3-2. 89th minute winner. It is what it is. Again, I've got nothing to grumble about when you look at the season we are having. Unstoppable comes to mind. But today we're going to be playing against Atalanta. That's the first game away from home. And then we're going to play against Empoli. Out of those two, Atalanta is going to be the more difficult game. They are 5th in the table, looking to get a Champions League berth. It's between them and Milan. I mean, we could lose just so they get to go head-to-head with Milan a little bit more, but I like winning too much than to do something crazy like that. Now, the team we've got in the Europa League is Shamrock Rovers. Listen, if you're a Shamrock Rovers fan, I'm not saying this to be an idiot, but I don't think it's worth us showing that. We've got limited time before FM26 comes out. I don't even know if we'll get the save done before FM26 comes out. Some sacrifices have to be made. Your game is one of them. I apologise. So I'm going to do that off camera. I might try and get forward to just show you the results of that second leg. I will obviously show you the result of the first leg, which is away from home. That could be the trickier of the two. Transfer window. We survived. We didn't lose any of our best players, but a transfer out did happen because we did fall out with a player. That player was... Where is he? Vasconcelos. I didn't really want to lose him, but I think I brought this up at some point. We were playing him as a fullback on support because that's what Trigos was playing as. So just to keep consistency, we were doing that. He wants to be a wing-back. I started playing him as a wing-back, but then forgot about it. So I started playing him as a fullback again. He threw a wobbly. I had enough of him. I sold him. And I sold him for more money than we bought him for. We bought him for 40. We sold him for 47.5. I consider that to be a bit of good business. So then we went into the transfer market. And we have improved. You can see there's transfers that are going to be coming in next season. We'll get to those. But there's transfers that we brought in as well. So, the first one of any kind of note is this guy, Stefano Targioni. He is a centre-back who's on loan from Liverpool. There's a future fee. We're not going to be taking it up. It's far too much money. This is purely just they get someone through the door. So, we've got them in the squad for the rest of the season as an extra defender. It also opens up, I forget his name, I signed him this season, what's his name? Sander, to be a defensive midfielder because he can also do that job. But Targioni is in, it's a loan covering his wages. I'm very happy with that, very happy indeed. And to be fair, he's already started off looking like a decent defender and he's got Italian caps as well, which is quite nice. We also, in the same kind of vein, sign this guy. Now, I tried to sign this guy either for Wolves or Arsenal. I can't remember. I think it was for Wolves, actually. Vissarion and Talakos. I'm going to have to work out how to say that. But Vissarion and Talakos, I tried to sign him. He ended up going to Liverpool. He's had a miserable time at Liverpool, all things considered. I mean, he's just never really got going. He looked like he was about ready to break out. I mean, look at that season he had there. Only played 18 times, sure, but 13 goals is incredible. He's never really got going, whereas so far, he's got 3 and 2. You know, he's looked really, really good. We've probably got too many players at this point who can play a striker, but you know what? I'd rather have that. But again, on a loan, there is a future fee. We're not going to pay it. It's too much money. But he's here for this season. Then replaced Vasconcelos with Luca Di Lorio, who's coming for 27.5 million, possibly rising up to 35 from Lazio. He's a cover right back. He doesn't need to be anymore because we've got Trigos. Very happy with him. He's probably never going to be a superstar, but he's got a little bit of pace. He's a little bit strong. He's got a half-decent cross on him. He can do a bit of tackling. His marking's all right. His positioning's really good. And he can play as a fullback on support, which is what we want him to do. So I'm very happy with that as a transfer, just to have an extra body in there. Doesn't need to threaten the first team, just needs to be a reliable backup, and that's what he's going to be. And this guy's a youngster, Andrea Albertini. I meant to sign him for next season, I didn't. He's 16 years old. He's got 1 star current ability. His potential's not quite as good as what I thought, but we'll end up making a profit on him at some point. We signed him for less than $1 million. We'll make a profit on him. And then we've signed these guys. Now, the big one that we've signed is Elia Caprile. Again, another player that I very much coveted, I think, again, at Wolves. He's coming in on a free as the backup, basically. He's 33 years old. He's not going to be anything more than the backup. Very happy to have him joining us next season. It's another Italian in the club as well. And then we've got a few other players. Valerio Romano, 17 years old. He's going to be coming in with a good amount of potential. Whether he gets all of that or not, I don't know. But he's a tall right back who can also play as centre back if we need him to. He's 17 years old. One for the future. I'm thinking ahead after we've gone in that kind of sense. Rafael Derico is another one who we're bringing in on a similar kind of vein. Again, another one who potentially has good potential. Central defensive midfielder, central midfielder of the defensive ilk. Needs to develop a little bit more, but he's 19 years old. Again, this is one that if he doesn't work out, I mean, we've spent absolutely nothing on him because the transfer hasn't technically gone through yet. Spent 2.5 million. I imagine once that transfer goes through, we'll be able to get more for him. These two are players who could potentially come into the first team or get close to it. Lefebvre is probably one that isn't going to be that. A Belgian under-21 international, 20 years old. Again, potentially got 4.5 star potential. Got some issues, but again, could be an earner for us. We spent that much on him. It's a release clause, so looking forward to getting him in. And again, we can make some money if we absolutely need to. Martin de Vries. This is someone who could potentially be a bit special. He's a wonder kid. He's got issues with, well, he doesn't have an issue with living abroad. He can adapt, actually. 20 years old, 11 under 21 caps already. He's already played 39 times for Ajax. This is someone who could be a bit special. I don't know whether we'll see much of him next season, but he was there. I thought, let's go for it. And we kept everyone else at the club. So we've got a really strong squad. We filled our Europa League squad. All 25 spaces are filled because we've got enough homegrown players. I recently, when I recorded this, actually had someone comment on one of my Bayern Munich videos. I only had 2 German players in the starting 11. To be fair, I've only got 3 Italian players in this starting 11, but the bench is filled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Admittedly, some of those are youth players, but there's another 7 there. So we have got a strong Italian contingent, but then I'm building a squad to win the Champions League. I can't. It's not a long-term save. It's not like the save at Deportivo, which, to be fair, I don't think I did very much with Spanish players. But if I wanted to do that, I would. But I'm looking to win the Champions League as quickly as possible. You're going to do what you're going to do. Speaking of which, let's get to the game against Atalanta, who are in 5th place, and let's see what we can do. Let me just adjust that, because I think they're playing against that system. Yes, they are. Let's get to the... Oh, it's undone all my things. Right, give me a moment. Oh, this is the most annoying thing. I don't know why it's undone that, then undone my instruction here. This is the 11 that we're going to be using for this game against Atalanta. It is going to be Urbig in goal, Trigos, Laskowski, Kabasi and Urbano in defence, Verlaine and Tenas in the middle with Gula, Zilli and Espinoza supporting Samini upwards. It is pretty much what I would consider to be our strongest 11 of permanent players and players in general. The only one that's potentially debatable are the centre-backs because Andre Silva, he's actually been quite good for us this season, but he is injured, as is Gonçalves, so he's not in contention either. But that forward 4, if we can get Gula properly happy with playing there, chef's kiss, absolute chef's kiss. Let's get to the game. Let's see whether we can get 3 points, and let's see whether we can continue our stranglehold at the top of Serie A. And if you're excited to see whether we can do that today, why don't you leave a like on the video for me and hit that subscribe button as well so you don't miss any of the content coming forward in the future, as well as when we hit FM26. I'm toying with a video to do either before FM26 comes out or right at the beginning, which is a what not to do when you're playing Football Manager for the first time. I think that could be quite a fun kind of, not much of a twist, I'm sure something like it's been done before, but like when you first load up, like a how to begin playing FM, like instead of doing a how to, it's like what not to do. Here's the things that might seem like good ideas, don't do them. By the way, there's the table, There's my door as well, that's opening. We are currently 13 points clear, I think that was, with a game in hand. Utter madness. Utter madness. And I'm enjoying every moment of it. Right, game is underway. We are away from home, obviously, so you would imagine there's going to be somewhat of a challenge. But we will meet that challenge head on. Sorry, I haven't changed this back since the last play. Let me do that. There we go, because I think it was a cup competition we last played in. Right, Gula coming forward here down that right-hand side. Obviously, when we started here this season, he was very much attacking midfield only, but I've warmed up to the idea of him being a winger. And to be fair, as an inverted winger, he does look pretty decent. So I'm pretty happy to have him out there. Right, Trigos to Gula. Gula inside to Villain. Villain now gets to Zilli. Zilli waiting for a run. It's to Espinoza. Espinoza waiting to get the ball to someone into late. It's just into Samini. And it's another goal for Samini. It's 25th of the season, potentially. There is going to be a check for offside, though. Samini has been very, very good for us. I mean, that first game had me thinking we've got a world beater on our hands. Maybe he's not quite a world beater. He's good, though. And again, we've adapted him to a striker more in the second half of the season. The first kind of quarter of the season, he was very comfortably a baller winger. He was absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very happy with his contributions so far as a striker. It's making me think that as much as I wanted to try and sign Alex Zeve, finances permitting next season, we might not need it. We might not need it. And Charles has done very, very well in the games that he's played. Again, I've been selective with when we've played him. I don't want him to play in big games and let us down. So Samini has been getting a nod. Zilli can also play there as well. One of the wingers can even play there. I think it's Gonçalves who can play there. We've got options. We maybe don't need to blow all of next season's transfer budget on one player. So we can be a bit more selective as to who we bring in. But we'll be in the Champions League next season. Whether winning Serie A this season, which is looking like we're going to do, is going to be enough for us to kind of jump up to a 5-star team, because again, we're currently 4.5-star, just due to the kind of the way that Italian football, I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, I think it's definitely a thing. Italian football isn't quite what it once was. It's still got some fantastic moments, and every now and then a club will just jump up and like rise back to that European elite. What a header that is from Aaron Abbott, by the way. That's outrageous. I'm annoyed, but that's a glorious header. But we've not defended it very well. We have been a little bit more mortal in this second half of the season early on. What a cross it is. And he just beats Laskowski. Laskowski has been returning from an injury, so I will forgive him there, but only a little bit. I'm going to demand more from the boys. This is a top 5 team that we're playing against, and we are playing against, I mean, they're dominating us at the moment, actually. We might need to have a look at this. This is a real challenge. This is a real challenge. We need to have a word with the boys, I think. Because this is not, looking at the performance, we've not performed well here. We've actually done the reverse of what we normally do. We've got a lot of the ball, but we're not doing anything with it. So I'm going to shout at them. I tell Zilli and Gula they need to sort their lives out. I'm going to tell Villain that the guy who was wanted by Man City hasn't shown up. I'm going to tell the fullbacks I need them to change the game. I'm going to tell you two and you that you have the ability. And I'm going to tell you two that you need to step things up as well. Because this has not been a good performance so far. It really hasn't. I'll say that to you as well. Right, do we make any initial changes in the second half? Because we need to do something to try and get a win here. It's not the end of the world. I actually, for a moment, I forgot that we didn't score first. So, but I don't like the fact that we've had that first half, because we now need to try and turn it around really quickly. Right, I'm thinking Cordoba maybe on for Villain, just to give us another bit of energy in midfield. Gula and Zilli have not been playing well. I think I'm going to take Zilli off, put Gula in the middle. I don't like the morale. That's probably because I've shouted at them. Zilli can come off for... But see, the problem is the player I want to bring him off for isn't on the bench because he's injured. So I'm going to put Samini out wide, and I'm going to bring on Talakos and just see whether we can continue that lovely little bit of form that he's been on. We'll make those two changes to begin with. I'm not going to go attacking just yet. We don't quite need to do that. It is still 1-1. Maybe this is the first draw of the season. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out together. Right. Second half underway. I'm going to demand more from the boys. I want to see more from them. I don't want any of this nonsense that's been happening, although straight away the momentum has gone back in their favour. There's another thing I am going to do if this, in fact, it is continuing. So here's what I'm going to do. Get stuck in. I'm not going to touch anything there. I'm going to go attacking. And the other thing I'm going to potentially do in a minute is up the tempo. And just see whether we can turn this, get this a bit lower, but do a bit more counter-attacking. Momentum's starting to go a bit more in our favour, and we have a highlight in our favour. Right, Samini gets the ball to Arda Güler does really well to turn his man. So close getting a goal, but Antalikos might have got his 4th of the season. And the more this happens, the more I'm kind of thinking if we need another striker, if Antalikos can continue this like he is, because he's gone and scored, we might decide to try and get him on a permanent. Now, I don't think I'm going to take up the offer that I've got with Liverpool because they've asked for a lot of money and it's more than he's worth at the moment. Now, whether he's worth that after being with us or not is another matter. By the way, lovely stuff here. And what a pass from Güler it was. Güler's turned things around. How it's not an assist for... Oh, no, he had a shot. It wasn't a pass. Yeah. He's on 6.5. I don't really know. That's a bit harsh. Feels a little bit harsh to me. We have turned the game around though, which is lovely to see. Right, deep free kick. Güler floating it in. Can he get it on the head of someone? I don't know if he got it on the head of anyone there, but ended up getting cleared a little bit into Urbano now. He has got Urbig with him. He goes back. Oh my word. Urbig, get there. I think it was going wide. Let's not do that. Please, boys. We don't need to be doing that. Right, Laskowski to Kabasi. Urbano, calm yourself. Right, Espinoza, waiting on the ball, gets it to Tenas. Tenas goes back to Urbig to Kabasi. Don't really like how we're dwelling with it here. Right, Urbano into Espinoza. Let's get it forward here, boys. Tenas to Cordova. Looking for Güler. It's a bit of a poor pass, really. Oh, that's a great interception there. And Samini now, looking for options. Going to pass it through to Arda Güler, who manages to put it in the back of the net. I tell you what, Güler, every now and then, it's almost like he's getting played out of a game. Never count him out. Never count Arda Güler out because he finds a way to make things happen. It's beautiful. And Samini just waits for the right moment to get the pass through. And there he is. And this is the problem with Güler playing as a winger. You don't get this all of the time. So I don't know what to do with him, Zilli and Samini, because Samini, again, can do a good job at striker, but sometimes he just plays a bit better as a winger. I just don't know. But we've now gone not out of sight. We have that 2-goal cushion, though, which is good and a bit dangerous at the same time, especially against the team who've already scored against you. Right, here come Atalanta. We've given Sau a fair bit of room on that side, which I'm not overly happy with. We're also meant to be funneling them onto the inside, and we did not do that. Right, Petrovic to Sau, giving them loads of room here. We managed to deflect it off, and Güler's given away a penalty. Right, before that penalty gets kind of pulled to fruition, I'm going to make some changes. Urbano coming off for Najar. I'm going to bring Di Lauro on and give him a bit of a run out, and then I need to get Charles some football. He's not long come back from injury, but I could bring him on for Samini, but he's not a winger, so that feels like a bit of a silly thing to do. I'm actually, although Güler has scored, I'm going to take him off for Tsita. Yeah, to get him some game time. Let's do that. And then we'll leave everything as it is. Yeah, let's do that. Right. Let's see whether this does get given as a penalty. It's not a guarantee it will be a penalty, obviously, but got that feeling. It is a penalty, so it's probably going to be 3-2 here. Let's see what happens. It's going to be Sau to take the penalty. He's been a good player for them today. Don't know what his rating is, but he certainly looked like he's been in everything. Oh, Urbig has been so good. He's only a 3-star goalkeeper. He deserves more than that. He has been an absolute unit in that goal all season. Yes, he's had his odd moment, but everyone does. But for the most part, he's been incredible. Right, ball out, and Tsita is now running on the counter-attack. He has got players with him if he looks up. In fact, it's a really cynical foul from Daniel Avila, and I think it would have been a yellow card. It is a yellow card for the holding midfielder. They've tried to catch us up a little bit in this half, but the momentum has very much stayed with us since the second half has begun, which I really like to see. Right, and Antalikos, looking for options. Tell you what, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. But then, I don't know, I've been burned by that before. By the way, Flamarion Najar, what a goal that is. Behave yourself. Sir, behave yourself. That's outrageous. And it is 4-1. And that is this game over in the 84th minute. I don't know about watching the rest of the highlight, because why would we when we know that we've already won the game? utter turnaround in the second half. Really happy to see it as well. We just kind of woke up and we kept the possession up as well. I thought the possession might go the other way. Right, late highlight here for Atalanta, deep in our half. We'll see whether they can get another consolation goal, whether we can defend it and maybe go up and get another one. Tenas clears it only as far as Tomiyasu into Fredrup. Tomiyasu now looking for another out ball, has to go back to Scalvini, who, remember, we did try and sign in the summer as a defensive midfield defender option. Didn't want to come because of the rivalry between the two clubs, and just ended up staying. Right, Mulder goes for a shot. Just over. Was it Atalanta that he was at, or did he join Atalanta? I can't remember. I genuinely can't. I definitely looks at him and he didn't want to move. Right, 4-1. That'll do. Really happy with that. Wasn't happy with the beginning, but we definitely turned it around. Disappointed with Zilli, disappointed with Gula in multiple aspects as well, but he did score, so, you know, it is what it is. Right, really good performance. I'm going to skip Shamrock Rovers, as I mentioned before, and we'll come back for Empoli, and we'll see how we did in the first Shamrock Rovers game. And then I'll play that one off camera as well, and then we'll see where we end up. Okay, I won't lie to you, I could pretend that this is the same recording session. It's not. I think my hair was kind of coiffed the other way, so I'm not even going to pretend. It's a new day. I'll put the same jumper on, but as I sat down to record, I thought, what's the point? So this is how the Shamrock Rovers game went, away from home, 4-1 results. That'll do for me. Talakos is certainly giving me food for thought, and yes, I did have to think about his name. Talakos, we'll go with that. He's giving me room to think. He really is. Food for thought, rather. He's really making me think about it, because he has been a very, very good striker. As a backup striker, he could be the option. He started up front. Samini's played as the winger, scored a goal. Urbano got an assist. Deloro, the new right back, scored his first goal for the club. Zilli got an assist. Gula got a goal and an assist as well. Urbano got an assist. Really good performance all around. They did have a goal disallowed and they did score, but they also had a red card. So it is what it is. Right, on to second game today against Empoli, who are currently in 17th. They're 4 points outside the relegation zone, but they've got a game in hand as well. So they're doing all right. They'd like a win. We're not going to give them one. And this is the 11 that's not going to give it to them. Urbig in goal. Deloro, Laskowski, Targoni and Najar in defence. Cordoba and Tanas in the middle with Gula, Takita, again, another name. I'm going to go with Takita. And Campanella supporting Simi up front. Simi. Where am I getting these names from today? We're just resting a few players. We're still waiting for Andre Silva to come back, but he is not far from being back. So we nearly have a full complement of players. So let's get in. Let's see whether we can get yet another 3 points and carry on this ridiculous record of either winning or losing and having no draws. And when I say losing, I mean the 2 games that we've lost. Imagine after that, and after turning the game off and turning it back on a different day, imagine if we now lose this game. I will be fuming, but I mean, that's a beautiful thing to see. The team, honestly, there's something different about this team. It just feels better. Every other team I've managed, it felt like there was an issue that could go wrong somewhere. Wolves, we were punching above our weight, but by the end, we did have a very, very good Champions League level team. Arsenal, I think we were actually, although we won the Champions League, I think that team is better than what I got out of it, although current results in the Premier League suggest not so. Game's underway, by the way. And Bayern Munich, I feel like we were good, but again, there was a few niggly issues that I couldn't quite work out there, which I think I would have worked out in the second season, but we opted, obviously, to have a new adventure and come to Italy where we had no Champions League football. I'm still not over that. But again, £200 million to spend. What you gonna do? So let's see whether we can carry on a fantastic season with yet another victory and do it in front of our home fans in this video. Let's see whether we can do that. Very defensive side, Empoli. They're going to be hard to break down. We're going to have quite a number of chances, I think, but we're just going to have to be patient. Speaking of which, we have a corner. Right, short corner to Najar, into Delorio. I keep calling Delorio. It's Deloro. I'll get his name right in a minute. It's Deloro as well, not Deloro. Deloro, I'm getting his name completely wrong. He passed it around anyway, and somehow Flamarion Najar gets his 3rd of the season. He loves a long shot. Now, that did have a deflection, but Targioni, the on-loan defender from Liverpool, who I'm really considering making a permanent player next season, is similar to Antalakos. We've got them with a future fee, both from Liverpool. But the future fee's too much. I'm not paying it. I will let them go back and I will put an offer in separately. It's just too much money. I'll have a look and see if I can dig out the fees after this game, if I remember to. Knowing me, I won't. But we'll have a look afterwards and see what it is. But it's a ridiculous amount of money. But it is 1-0, and that's the most important thing. Flamarion Najar with yet another goal. He's only scored 3, but he's scored some pretty good goals, actually. They've all been fairly dynamic, which has been good to see. Right, Empoli with possession. Passing it around here. We love to force a defensive mistake. I'd quite like that now, if that's okay. If we can just keep pressing them. That front 3 of ours is trying to press that defensive 3. Their striker just wasn't interested there. And Targioni intercepts. Right, Tenas. Poor pass from him. Campanella can't get there. And here come Empoli. Laskowski just cuts it out and just nudges it back to Urbig, because that's how good he is. Right, Tenas with a better pass this time to Najar, into Campanella. Campanella back to Najar. Waited for Campanella's run. He kind of stopped the run, and a heavy touch lets him down there. We're a bit sloppy in possession here, but Campanella is not sloppy in winning the ball back. Ball through to Samini. I think that's offside anyway. Wouldn't have counted. Fine, I'm okay with that. Samini not having the best of game at striker. I went very overboard in the first episode of this season when I said that he was going to be a world beater. He's not quite that good, but he's a very good player, but definitely not as good a striker as he is a right winger. I might move things around a little bit. I might put Gula in the middle, Takita up front, Samini as the right winger, just to get him back playing in his better position. I think he is better as a right winger. He has games where he's fantastic as a striker, but he scored a couple of hat-tricks from the right wing. Well, I tell you what, he nearly scored there as well, and that would have made me properly eat my words, wouldn't it? And I'd have been okay with it. I don't mind eating a bit of humble pie if it's delicious, and it nearly was then. I think this is going to be half-time, 1-0. They're being very difficult to break down, which is fine. We have let them have a couple of chances as well. I'm going to say that one because I'm not happy, actually. We should be well away against this lot. So, we're going to say that to those two. I'm going to say it to Cordoba as well. Everyone else is fine. I'm not feeling a need to kind of have a go at anyone else. Right, Takita can go up front. Gula and Samini can swap around. We'll just do that for the time being. And I'll tell you what, let's just do a general. Not that bad. Keep going. Keep going. Right. Second half. We're going to fire the boys up. Let's go and get a second. Let's just put it to bed completely. Let's get 2 and then 3 and then just finish things off. Could be famous last words, couldn't it? It really could be. And let's see whether Samini and Gula do a bit better in their more natural positions. Although, again, both are perfectly fine playing as right winger or striker, respectively, for each of them. Right, ball out to Campanella, who has been kind of our most successful outball today. Pulls it back to Gula. Nearly an instantaneous change from him. Very, very close to making it 2-0. We have a throw in here. Najar into Campanella. Dangerous backup combination they are. And there's Samini at the far post. He's not even that good at heading. He's not even that tall. But I've seen that goal quite a number of times this season. He's a right winger, isn't he? He is. He's a right winger. We might need to get Alex Eve after all. Because I might be changing the plan again. It's a nice problem to have. But getting Gula and Zilli in the same team, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. It's a nice problem to have, as the cliche goes, but it is a bit of a problem. So we do need to sit down at the end of the season. Not that we've got very long, but we do need to sit down and work it out. But I do feel better seeing Samini get a goal and us get a second one in general. Right, Gula, not really had a great game. We're going to take him off for Zilli. Why not? I'm going to bring Mikhail Charles on for Takita as well. To be fair, how was Takita doing? Takita was doing all right. Do you know what? Zilli can stay off. We'll give him a rest. Takita can play there. A bit more match fitness. Cordoba can come off for... Do you know what? Sander's going to come on because he can do a job there. And I'm actually going to take Tenas off for Verlaine. Or do I do Marcotta? I could do Marcotta. Marcotta can do that job. He's not bad. He can get forward. He can do stuff. What about Sander? Tell you what, his passing's all right, actually. Do you know what? We'll swap him around. Yeah, we'll do that. Get Marcotta a bit of game time. He hasn't had any recently. And I'm thinking Delorio as well. I'm just worried about that yellow card. I don't want any shenanigans, so we'll make 4 changes. We'll have that 1 change for the final 10 minutes. I'll just see if we can see the game out here. Takita going back to attacking midfield. He's been a really good kind of floating cover player to have in that attacking kind of quadrant, and I'm not against selling him this season. But I'd quite happily keep him as well. And we've just put it in the back of the net with an own goal. Jonathan Martins puts it in his back of his net. It's actually Sander in defensive midfield who's forced it through. I think we've solved what to do when Marcotta goes back to Arsenal. And it's not sign Marcotta, sorry. It's keep Sander and have him play as the midfield. It's going horribly wide from Sander. It's a horrible deflection, and the keeper had absolutely no chance of saving it, but I don't care. I'm just glad we've got another goal. Right, highlights again with us in possession. Marcotta goes to Sander. Sander going to have loads of confidence, even though he didn't get the goal. He's going to have loads of confidence after forcing it through. Right, Trigos, who's come on as a sub, out of the next round of the Europa League, so we will be relying on Di Loro, got his name right. We will be relying on him in the next game, but I'm sure he'll do a decent enough job. We're passing around quite nicely here. Targioni into Trigos. I'm honestly, the fact that I wanted to get rid of Trigos at the beginning of the season, I almost needed sacking for that, because he has been as dependable a right back as, watch him get a red card now, as dependable a right back as they come. He's been really, really good, and I've been really impressed with him. Right, final 10 minutes. We'll make the final change. I don't really know what we want to do in regards to it. I'm thinking maybe we do take Takita off. Maybe we take one of the defenders off for Kabasi, but we don't need to bring him on. And Talakos would be a good one to bring on, but I've already brought on Charles, so that's not going to work. Maybe we take off Samini. Or bring on Gonçalves. Gonçalves could come. Yeah, actually, do you know what? They go together. I was thinking of getting Talakos on, but we'll do that change. Gonçalves can do just as good a job as Samini, just he's a different type of player. He's more of a traditional winger. So let's get him out there, get him whipping some balls in. Hit play, it's probably a good idea, isn't it? And we'll just see whether we can carry on. I mean, look at the gap we've built up in the league. It is obscene. And I'm so blown away by how good this team is. Yes, you know, again, I've said it before, bear in mind the opposition around us. The Italian league no longer really as strong as it once was. This Inter team seems to be like, I'm going to offend people here, a big fish in a small pond, and we are battering teams, but then we're battering the big ones as well. Like, okay, we came unstuck against Juventus, we came unstuck against Roma. That's after we have beaten both of them already. And after we went the first half of the season 100% and only conceding a smattering of goals. It's another own goal. It's Martins again. He's done a Jamie Carragher. Isn't it Carragher who's got... I'm sure he's got more than one own goal in a game. I'm sure it is, but he's gone and done it again. It's 4-0, 2 own goals. Oh, it's heartbreaking. I feel bad for him, actually. Campanella, I tell you what, everything's been through him today. And if he didn't put it in, Charles was there. I'm kind of gutted it didn't fall to Charles in the end. I'll try to click on him to make sure it was Charles. I'm pretty sure it was. A bit gutted it didn't fall to Charles, but Campanella deserves a goal, and that is as good as a goal, the fact that he forced an own goal there. And that will cement, what is that, 17, 16 point gap at the top of the table. Utterly just taking the Italian league on an absolute jolly. Fantastic. And a goal difference of plus 65. The nearest one, plus 39 from Juventus. Pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. Right, before we go, and before we talk about when we're going to come back, I am going to quickly go and play the other game against Shamrock Rovers and just show you what the result is. Campanella, absolutely the man of the match in that one. Utterly smashed them. Goals are plenty for quite a while. A couple of clean sheets in there as well. Bear with me. Let me play the Shamrock Rovers game in 3 days, and we'll round up the episode, and we'll talk about when we're going to come back and what we're going to come back for. Bit of a drama affair, really. It was just difficult to break them down, but we did win by 2-0. Of course, 4-1 up after the first leg. And Talakos and Charles both getting goals, actually. Samini having a decent game as well, despite not actually getting on the score sheet. So, really happy with that as a performance. In terms of how we played, it's just we could have done with a couple more goals to make me really happy, but what you gonna do? So that gets us through to the quarterfinal, which we don't know who we're playing yet. Again, I'm not going to show you it until we get to the final. If we get to the final, who knows? I'm not that bothered about it. It's not the main event. The main event's Champions League, which we're going to try and do in another season, if we can just get a season done before Early Access Football Manager 26 comes out. So that leaves us looking like this in Serie A. Glorious, absolutely beautiful. We've scored 18, we've only conceded 15, and it's a 65 goal difference, which is lovely. And we've got the top goal scorer in the league as well is still Samini. Combination of being a winger and a striker. He's also the best player in the league, and we've got Gonçalves and Espinosa as numbers 2 and 3 on the assist chart. Urbig, bossing clean sheets. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that is actually the round of the Europa League. So it's actually been completed now. So it is... every away team apart from one have gone through. So it's Rennes, us, Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, Bilbao, Leeds, Leicester, Ghent. There's one team that sticks out there. 1.5 if you squint. Atletico Madrid and maybe Athletic Bilbao. They're the teams I'd probably be the most concerned about. Anyone else, we can take them. I've got no doubt in my mind we can take them. Whether we will or not is another matter, but I am pretty confident that we will. We will come back. I don't know exactly when. It'll be around in this period here. I don't necessarily know. I'm not going to come back for the Juventus game because we beat them in the first leg 2-1. I mean, it's the home game, so we'll probably be okay with that. We've already played Lazio on camera. I mean, how far ahead do we go, to be fair? Do we do Lazio again? I don't really want to do Lazio again because I'm sure we played them all the way up here on camera. Yeah, we did with the PSV game. So that feels a little bit silly to do that. So maybe we come back past Sassuolo and then Palermo and see how we're doing in the Europa League at that point. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to play this bunch of games because I think Sassuolo are going to be fair, they're mid-table as well. Is there anyone around here who's coming up? I don't think they are until the last couple of games of the season. Bologna, how are they doing? Less said about that, the better. I'll make a decision. I might come back for the second leg if it's an interesting game. I might come back for the semi-final. I'm just going to play a bunch of games, see how it lands, and we'll be back with hopefully some more Inter Milan dominance. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me and then hit that subscribe button so don't miss any of the content and you're up to date with us well before FM26. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.